everybody. Hi guys.
Stay strong.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe everyone. Stay together. Stay hydrated. Stay strong, stay safe, stay at home. Stay at home, yeah? Stay at home.
くれぐれもお体をお大事に。
Hello, Melvin. A very good morning to everyone. Mr. Rolly, you probably can switch on your camera and also your mic. So I am Diana, and on behalf of IK Academy, I would like to welcome everyone to our webinar of the Learn with IK Live series. This Learn with IK Live series is organized by our iClub by IK community page in Facebook. It is a platform of free learning resources where we will share articles, industry updates, networking, and also free webinar like today. And this is all for our beloved clients, partners, and also networks. So for those who haven't joined yet, please join our iClub by IK and spread the news to everyone that you think will get the most benefit from this page. You may find the link in comment, or probably you can search for iClub with the spelling of IKLUB by IK and just click join. So before I proceed, please share this live show with those that you think will get the most benefit from our sharing today. You may click the share button and share it straight away to your FB page, or you just share the link around by using WhatsApp, Telegram, or probably any other medium that you may find. So today, we will be discussing about strategies and 12 disciplines to achieve world-class maintenance management. Being world-class means the ability to compete anywhere in the world. World-class maintenance management simply means the art of and science of managing maintenance resources performed by best-in-class industries from around the world. But in most industries, the question is often raised: is it possible to control, or the pressure over maintenance is controlling us? So our guest speaker today, Mr. Rolly Angeles, or should I call Mr. Rolly Stone, will be here together with us to discuss on this. So good morning, Mr. Rolly. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good morning, Diana, and to IK team, and thank you for having me.
Okay, so Mr. Rolly is a maintenance preacher, and his last position is as technical training specialist. He retired early from industry and established his own consulting business. He's also the author of 12 Steps of World-Class Maintenance Management book series. I know Mr. Rolly for quite some time, and I can see his passion in sharing his experience and knowledge with people because he just wanted the best for the maintenance world. So today, I have a giveaway to share with all of you, which is the ebook of Mr. Rolly's first book with the title of World-Class Maintenance Management, the 12 Discipline. So I would like to choose 5 lucky winners today. And what you have to do to be one of the lucky winners is just by typing hashtag IK Academy in comment. I repeat, hashtag IK Academy in the comment section. And also don't forget to share this show with anyone that you think will get the most benefit. So you may write as many times as you want throughout the session. No one will scold you if it is too much, but I am more than happy to see our comment flooded with hashtag IK Academy so that I know that you're really interested to get this ebook from Mr. Rolly because it is quite good and will be beneficial to you. Okay, so type now and type as much as you want to increase your chance of being lucky. Okay, so I don't want to waste so much time now. Are you guys ready to continue our session today? I hope you are because I am, and Mr. Rolly also very ready. Okay, so if you are ready, probably you can type Rolly, R-O-L-L-Y. No, just kidding. Okay, so Mr. Rolly is very passionate about sharing his maintenance experience in his book because he knows that he cannot be teaching maintenance forever. He has good intention in helping every maintenance personnel and working hard and dedicate his time by creating a backup plan. So the learnings on maintenance just doesn't stop and will continue for a generation to come. And not to forget, he is also a YouTube musician. I didn't lie about Mr. Rolly being Rolly Stone. He is quite talented and you should all watch his YouTube channel and also his guitar collection. So Mr. Rolly, I know that currently you are working very hard in finishing out your book, right? As far as I know, you already finished around 7 books already published, correct?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
Yes.
And one more is upcoming very soon, right? Okay, so could you share with us, Mr. Rolly, when and how is it started about getting this idea to write books? And then, I mean, like, when is it completed about the whole series on? More probably you may share what are the highlights and finding about the books.
I think you already answered that question because Diana, it's something like this, okay? I know for a lifetime, I cannot teach forever. So as long as I'm able, so I teach, okay? Now, there will come a point that everything will stop. And I just don't want the learnings to stop. So I was thinking how it can be done, and if you can share the slides, Diana.
Okay,
CK?
CK, yeah, CK will share. Okay.
Okay, so this is the structure of what you call the world-class maintenance management. Okay, and I was thinking when I wrote my first book, so I thought I was done. I thought I was done, and then I wrote the second book, which is this one, and this refers to what you call the tenth discipline. And then after that, I wrote my third book, which is stating what you call the importance of having an operator and maintenance relationship. Okay, so I thought I was done. I thought I was done, but when I try again to look at this structure, I think there's so much to be written. Okay, there's so much to be written, and all the books I try to write are related in a way to this what you call 12 disciplines on maintenance. Okay, so I guess this will be a long journey. It will be a long road, and I not only dedicate myself to teaching, so I told myself I want to become what you call an indie or independent author. So I dedicate also my time right now when I'm not teaching into writing, because I need to write. I need to have a book on the other disciplines to make this complete. And I do not know if I'll finish that or not, but I hope. Okay, it can be done. So there's still more books. If you can see the arrow. Yes. So this is about lubrication. This is about spare parts. This is about reliability-centered maintenance, which is what you call a continuous improvement. Okay, so this is coming this end of July. Before the July is complete, this book will be out. Okay, this book will be out. So that's the reason why I'm writing. I'm writing my books.
Good to know that. So everyone, again, I would like to repeat: all of you must grab the chance get his world-class maintenance management, the 12 discipline book, to know more about his sharing. So the easiest way now is just type #Academy, IK Academy now in comment and be the lucky winners. So Mr. Rolly is a seasoned international reliability and maintenance trainer, teacher and advisor with over 30 years of solid experience in the various maintenance field and has conducted several trainings, workshop, consultation in a wide range of industries from different countries. So Mr. Rolly, after near to 30 years of career, training and consulting experience in maintenance industries, can you share what is the major challenges you have noticed throughout the years?
I think that's a very tough question, because in the industries have what you call different problems. I cannot say it's the same problem for power plant or it's the same problem for a mining, for a pharmaceutical, but there is a common trend. And I think one of the biggest problems I see is that we think too much of the problem and not on what you call the permanent solution. Okay, we spend hours, days thinking about the problem and not on what you call how to get rid of that problem. Okay, now everyone or every consultant, something like that, are talking about failures, equipment breakdowns. Okay, now if you try to dwell on the subject much deeper, okay, it is like I invite you, Diana, to what you call let's say I invite you to Shakey's or to a pizza parlor. And then we order a whole pizza, a round pizza. Okay. Now you will notice that there will be 8 slices. Okay, there will be 8 slices. Meaning, if we talk about failure, if we talk about the failures of your equipment, that is simply what you call a piece of pie. Okay, of the pizza pie. Okay. Now, not only should we talk about failure, but we also need to talk about the losses, okay? Because the failures, the breakdowns is simply a subset of a bigger problem, which are your equipment losses. Okay.
Correct.
So it means that there are other losses. Let's say you have the speed of your equipment became slower. So that's another loss, which is a design speed loss, but your machine is still running. Okay. Or maybe you have, in manufacturing, mostly they experience this. They have a lot of stoppages. You call that assist, error, something like that. So it's not a breakdown. It's not a failure, because nothing failed. The machine just stopped. Okay. And then it will be reset again, and then it will run. So it means that we need to think about the bigger picture, which are what you call the losses, because the failures, the breakdowns is simply a subset of what you call the losses of the equipment. Okay. So, and another major problem or major challenges is education, training. And sometimes it keeps me sad or frustrated, and I experience maybe more than a dozen times in my life. I have what you call in-house trainings. Okay, I got in-house trainings, and you got the old timers, and sometimes they talk to you, Rolly, I think I should have met you 15, 20 years ago. And then, oh, why you're telling that? Rolly, because next month I'm scheduled to retire. But it's good to know you. It's good to know your training. So you can see the trend. You can see the trend. It happens all the time. Okay? Meaning, majority of maintenance people in industries are deprived, okay, of education, because education is where you will obtain the knowledge. So once you got the knowledge, you can build your skills to do what you call the correct maintenance on our equipment. But everything will start from the knowledge, which is taken from education. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
You realize in your 30 years experience.
Yeah, so that's why if I stop teaching, the books are there for everyone to read.
Correct. Thank you for your effort, Mr. Rolly.
Yeah.
I think it's very beautiful. So when we talk about maintenance, right, Mr. Rolly, it's not just about machine. It is also about human being. Okay. So what is your view in human resource and culture of maintenance that industries can adopt to achieve world-class?
Okay. First, let us define, when you say a culture, this is how we do things in our plant, okay? So these are the shared things, the shared belief, shared activities, shared doings, okay? So anything you do out of that box or out of that circle, you're not part of the culture, okay? So I think it's something like this. Industries invest on technology, they invest on machine, the top of the line equipment, the top of the line instruments, predictive maintenance, but they forgot one thing. And what is that? The investment should be on the people. Okay, it is because it is the people that will improve the equipment, and you cannot reverse that. It is not the equipment improving the people. It will always be what you call the people that will improve what you call the equipment. That is what I believe. Okay, so I think that's about it.
This is back about your sharing from the first question. It's all about education.
Yeah.
So it's related to each other, right? Right. Okay. So, Mr. Rolly, what do you think is the top 3 most important key factors to achieve world-class maintenance management, and why is it so?
I think, if I may add, there are 4. There are 4 factors.
Okay,
It's not 3. Okay.
Okay.
This is my book. Okay. The one that Diana, but.
Yes.
The winners will be receiving what you call an ebook. Okay, this is a hard book. Okay, now if you can see here, if you, I do not know if
can see. Visible.
You can see the triangle. You have what you call a team. Okay, you need to have a team. You cannot do this alone. And then once you got the team, then you need to generate a plan. But the most important part is that the team should have a big heart in completing what you call the journey toward class. Okay. Now, so how to achieve? The first thing you need to do is, once you got the team, you need to sit down. Okay, sit down, have some coffee, and then try to talk about where is your maintenance right now. Okay, so that's borrowing from the concept of Stephen Covey, which is the author of 8 Habits. In his book on principle-centered maintenance, he said that first thing you need to know is determine where your maintenance is currently right now. Okay, so now you know. Now you have a picture. You have you have an understanding where you are. Then you move to the next question. Okay, and the next question is, where do you want to go? Where do you want your maintenance to go? So meaning you need to have a unanimous decision, a unanimous vote, meaning you need to have one direction. Okay, all maintenance should have one direction. We go this way, we go to the north, okay, or we go to the east. So okay, go to the east, but only one direction. Okay, so once you know where you want to go, then you move to the next level, which is how will my team, or how will we get there? Okay, so in this case, you need to have what you call a plan. You need to have a roadmap. You need to have the details on the activities to do in order to get there. And then once you have the plan, you execute the plan. The last question is, how will we know that we have arrived on where we want to go? Okay, so it means that if you can study the 4 level, the first step or the first level and the last level have something to do with your what you call measurements, with your maintenance KPI. Okay, so this will be the indicators that will tell you if you're doing well or you're not doing well in maintenance. These are what you call, it's simply like, let's say you want to trim down. Let's say you're too fat. So before doing anything, the first thing you need to do is you weigh yourself. Okay, so now you have a figure. Let's say you're 200 kilograms. Then you do what okay. So what you need to do, you go diet. Okay, you exercise, and then after a period of time, you weigh again, and that's this is where you know. Okay, that you are successful or not in your what you call endeavor. Okay, so I think it's about it.
So it's 4 important key. The first one is about where weigh yourself, and then where do you want your maintenance to go, and then the third one is how we will get there, plan a roadmap, and the last one is how we will know whether we arrive or not to the destination, something like that. Okay, so everyone, I think I have if let's say you have any question to Mr. Rolly, I think you can start to type in the comment section now, so that I will read it out to Mr. Rolly so that he can answer your question. Okay, so is that okay, Mr. Rolly? Because okay, now I have some question from the audience that already registered and already passed the question to us earlier. So there's one question, is how can we actually quite a lot, sorry, not one question only. The first one is, how can we detect abnormality and maintenance that probably happened during work from home period during this pandemic? I mean, like, can it be implemented 100%? What are the pros and cons?
So my understanding of that question is that if you work from home, how can you detect what you call the problems, abnormalities of your equipment? Okay,
correct.
So what are the pros and cons? It's something like this. Okay, the only way you can know about the problems in your equipment if you have a consistent what you call communication with your colleagues. Okay, with your colleagues. So now we have the online platform, we have the Zoom, or if you are on maintenance 4.0, meaning there are a lot of what you call developments in the field of automation. They can send a signal to your phone, something is wrong, something like that, okay? But if you're not yet on that stage, okay? Now tell your colleagues to update you if there is a problem, and since you are at home, utilize that opportunity, use that opportunity to search for the solution. Okay, you got your internet, you Google the problem, you join some maintenance forums. Hey, I got the problem here. Does anybody experience this one? Okay, you use that opportunity because the problem mostly in the plants. Okay, the internet is restricted. Okay, so meaning you cannot view Facebook, you cannot view YouTube, you cannot view this site and so on. But since you're at home, then you can get the problem, and then you Google the problem and then surf the net. Okay, you use that to your advantage. So that's the advice I can give you right now.
Okay, so the next question is actually from the other person, but they are from the same company actually.
Yeah.
So best advice to have a good maintenance for equipment.
Okay, yeah. It's something like this. I do not know if that's the correct word, okay, or maybe I'll rephrase the question. Maybe what he was asking, maybe what he was asking is the correct maintenance. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing, boss? I'm greasing the bearing. Oh, good maintenance. So forget the good maintenance. Let's talk about the correct maintenance. Okay. Now, so if we talk about the correct maintenance, it means that it's something like this in a nutshell. In a nutshell, okay. Now, we want to care for our equipment, so we do everything in our capacity, capability, okay, to take care of our equipment, okay. But what I learned through the years is that maintenance is not about maintaining the whole equipment. It's not it's not about maintaining the whole equipment, but it is about maintaining the functions of the equipment that is important or that is being used by the user. Okay. Now, for example, if I may explain this in a layman's term, okay, let's say you are in Malaysia or you're in the Philippines and it's summertime. So definitely when you drive, you use your AC. So if your AC is broken, if it's not working, definitely you will have it fixed immediately. Okay. But if your heater is also malfunction or it's not working, so I don't care about a heater because I will not be using that in a tropical country. Okay, so what I'm telling you is that we only maintain what is important to the user and not maintaining everything on the equipment. Okay, so maintenance is quite a broad subject. If you ask me what is the correct maintenance, because we not only talk about preventive, we talk about the lubrication, we talk about what you call the spare parts, we talk about, okay, so I can tell him the answer, but do we have around 16 hours of time? Or maybe you just get the book and then you'll find your answers.
Yes.
Okay?
Just type hashtag IK Academy, then you can learn more about that.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very broad question. Okay,
next question. I think it will be a broad question. So it's how to be an expert in maintenance.
Okay, wait. Okay.
For the rest, please type your question in comment. Yeah.
Okay,
Mr.
Okay, this is an electric guitar. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you love music, okay, and the best guitarists may be Clapton, Hendrix, Steve Vai, Jimmy Page, okay, and many more. Now, how did they become good? How did they become good? Now, it was not overnight. It's not even for several months. It takes them years. Okay?
Correct.
It takes them years. So, same principle. So, if you really want to become an expert on maintenance, okay, if you really want to, now spend time educating yourself for a start. Okay? So, as Steve Vai said, okay, spend a moment of your time in which you do not surf the net, you do not talk with friends, okay, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. Now, educate yourself, read about maintenance, read some newsletters, okay? Now, and then those you can apply, you apply them in your work, okay? Now, if your equipment improve, then do again the same thing, again and again. But whatever you do, try to document that. Maybe you have a little notebook or something like that. Okay, so meaning these are your accomplishments and in your life. Now, this will be a long process, but my question is, are you really serious about doing these kinds of things like the one I do? Because this is a lifetime's work. You need to have the passion, you need to have the time, okay? You need to have what you call the patience, the disciplines in order to achieve that level. Now, if you ask me from a scale of 1 to 10, I think I belong to maybe level 2, level 3, okay? Because there's still much to learn on maintenance. But the good thing is I never stopped learning even at my age. So it's a continuous process.
Correct. So you can never call yourself as an expert.
No, I don't want to be called that. I'm not an expert.
Okay. So, and then the next one is that how to apply effective predictive maintenance.
Okay.
How to practice predictive maintenance.
It's something like this. There are do's and don'ts. The key here is, number one, selecting the correct team, okay? The correct team or the right team. Now, it's something like this. If your industry will go for a predictive maintenance, okay, your management, decision makers, C-level people, or whoever will approve the budget must understand that there are 3 investments, okay? 3 investments. First, you will invest on the instrument, okay? Second, the instrument will require a calibration, maybe every 6 months, every year, and it's not free. And the third is the most important, investing about the person, okay? Now, because let's say you buy what you call a vibration, there are levels. During my time, there are 3 levels. Today, there are 4 levels. Level 1, level 2, certification, level 3, level 4. Thermography, you have 3 levels. Now, I see in most industries, they buy the instrument, but they do not invest in the certification, okay? Because the certification is important, because before you can use the instruments, you need to be well knowledgeable on the principles of the instruments you're using. Now, for example, vibration. So, so you can only decide about the vibration if you know the principles of vibration, okay? If we talk about infrared thermography, so you can only make a decision, a recommendation, if you know about what you call the concept of heat transfer. Because it's something like this, okay? The heat from your equipment may not be coming from your equipment. It may be coming from other sources, and the instrument will contain an error. So the buttons is not about using. It's different. The button, meaning what I'm talking about is that the vendor training is different from a certification training, because in the certification they will tell you everything about the principles, and in thermography we only are interested in what the equipment emits. Okay. Now, in order for your predictive maintenance to be successful, number one, invest on the people, have the right people. When I say have the right people, because my recommendation is do not get a young user. Okay, do not get a young user who will use the instrument. Okay, ask me why, Diana. No.
Literally.
It's something like this. Okay, the company invests in the guy, level 1, and then the guy wants level 2. Okay, level 2, and then the guy wants level 3. And now the guy has some knowledge. Okay, so this guy, once he reach level 3, let's say he's a thermographer, when he return home, he will try to surf the net and Google. Okay, Google. Where can I work? Okay.
Correct.
Now, I have seen so many people that jump from one company to another because of a higher paid grade. Okay, that's the things that are not discussed in the subject of predictive maintenance. Or sometimes, if you're really knowledgeable, and some industries know you, they will pirate you. Diana, how much your salary in IK? 50,000 ringgit. 50,000, that's very cheap. I can offer you 150,000. Work with me. Okay. And so the guy worked with the, okay. Now, so these are the disadvantage. Okay. But if you want your predictive maintenance to be good, my recommendation, every time you find a problem, document that and convert that into US dollars, into money. Okay, and let's say you found a hotspot and then it was fixed before it failed. Now, what will be the damage, the amount of damage, if your instrument did not catch that problem? Okay, now on a weekly, monthly, submit that to your boss, to your management team. Now they will know your value. They will know your value if you do those kinds of things. Instead of doing the traditional routine, get the readings and then download, get the readings down, convert your findings into money, give them to your boss. That's my advice, and this is how to turn your predictive maintenance into something, okay, of value. So that's my advice.
Okay, good. I hope Mr. Rolly answered your question. If let's say you have any additional question that you wanted to ask to Mr. Rolly, please do so by typing in the comments so that Mr. Rolly can answer it right away. Okay, so Mr. Rolly, how to manage maintenance optimally in currently pandemic condition?
Now, this is something that is what you call, we have limited control, okay? Now, it means that, for example, Malaysia is not looking good right now in terms of the pandemic, okay? Yes. Now, you can either have a lockdown or you can go back again to day one in which your industry will not be operating. So nothing we can do about that, okay? Nothing we can do because we cannot travel, we cannot, it's very limited. My advice is very limited on that because these are things that is way beyond our control. Okay?
Correct.
So if the government of Malaysia say no operations, all factories stop except for alcohol and those sanitary, those who, there's nothing we can do. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Okay, sorry, let's see. I believe the next question is actually I already asked you just now. But if let's say you have anything to add. He's asking about how to implement WCM and also how to certify. Or probably because just now you mentioned about the 4 key factors, right? Probably that one, is it related to this?
Okay. It's something like this. during my training, I add as a giveaway. I add as a giveaway because in this book I have the 12 disciplines. These are what you call the 12 disciplines are breakdown into 3 categories. Okay, first you have the basic discipline, and then you have what you call the strategies, and then you have the more advanced discipline, which is about predictive maintenance and automation, about EMS, enterprise management software, or computerized maintenance management software. So there are 12. Okay. Now, I developed what you call an assessment questionnaire. It's not a certification. It is an assessment questionnaire for every discipline. So for every discipline, I think there's around 10 or 12 questions in which it will be answered by all your maintenance people. And there is a score of what you call 1 to 5. Okay. 5 meaning great, that's good, you're doing it very well. 1 meaning you're not doing it, something like that. So this will be an assessment, and it will be filled out by every technician, maintenance, people involved in your maintenance. And from there, once it's summarized, from the 12 disciplines, what are your strengths? Meaning, what discipline are you strong, and what disciplines you're weak? Okay, so maybe you do not have an operator maintenance relationship or partnership, so you're weak on that. So the book recommends that we prioritize these disciplines. That's how it's being done.
Okay, good. So to everyone, please type #ICARE so that you can get a copy of the ebook, so that you can study more about the 12 disciplines that what Mr. Role mentioned about. Okay, so Mr. Role, the next one is that how to justify performance of maintenance team in terms of cost utilization, since management always stress of reduced maintenance costs and at the same time increase on machine reliability.
Okay, no hard feelings to the guy who it's something like this. Okay, if your boss is pushing you around, meaning you have a high cost, something like that. This is usually the traditional bosses, the reactive ones. Okay, the reactive ones. And their goal is what you call a high availability, high utilization, low cost. Okay. Now, and then there is no investment on maintenance. What they give maintenance is a duct tape and WD-40. Okay, here's a duct tape. Here's WD-40. Improve your availability. Improve your. Goddamn. I'm sorry. Now it's demand something from. Okay, you want to improve. Okay, if you really want to improve your costs, definitely you need to adapt what you call the correct practices. Okay. Now there's so much subject on maintenance, and there's so many things in maintenance that we are doing wrong. Okay. Now what I believe is that what we need is not experience. What we need is knowledge. Knowledge and experience are 2 different things. Okay. Now, for example, let's touch the subject of lubrication. Okay. Let's touch the subject of lubrication. Now, I have here a motor which is supposed to be lubricated today. So the technician will go and try to regrease with a grease gun. He will regrease. So when he regreased the motor, meaning nothing pump out of the grease gun, so he went to what you call his PM bay. He get a pail of grease and then insert. Okay, so the grease is a multi-purpose grease, and what is inside is also a multi-purpose grease, but the NLGI are different. Okay. So meaning one rule on greasing or on lubrication is never ever mix 2 different grease. Okay, Rolly. But I got a multi-purpose grease from Shell, and this is a multi-purpose grease from Mobile. The same multi-purpose grease. Now, they may be the same, but the thickeners are different. Or only the thickeners are the same, lithium. Now, the thickeners may be the same, the energy may be the same, but I cannot say for the additives. Rolly, the additives are the same. I confirm. Okay, everything is identical, additives are identical, but can we say for the base of the oil? Okay, so it is the correct practice is not to mix the grease in your grease gun. If you're using this grease, use it forever on your equipment. Okay, so if it's not working, your equipment overheat, then change the grease, but be consistent on what you're using. Now, these are the things you only know from education and not from experience. Okay, so the key is educate yourself. Okay, for Christ's sake. Okay, time is short, and you always think about the problems. Your problems will simply repeat. Okay, it's just a repeating problem unless you think outside of the box.
So I think that's about more. Yeah, educate yourself more. Yeah, correct. So, Mr. Rolly, that talking about reliability, right? Can you share your opinion about the relationship between machines reliability and human reliability? Both require interaction to each other. And as a technical person in a technical team, our judgment will depend more on machine reliability or human reliability or both. How to consider which one is the best?
Okay, I got a quote here. Okay, now this is from Captain Chesley Sullivan. He's what you call, if you're familiar with, he's a pilot. The plane that landed on Hudson River, in which nobody died. Okay, so all the people are on the wings, and he count everyone survived. Okay, and there was another pilot. His name is Kevin Sullivan, and the problem is that his plane malfunctioned. Because in the plane you have an autopilot in which you can rest and then just press. It malfunctioned and it stalled. Okay, it's around 40-60 degrees stalling down. Okay, and then he turned into manual. He cannot control, but he was able to what you call use his knowledge in order to land the plane on the nearest airport. Okay, so what am I telling? So from excuse me, the Captain Chesley quoted on that event and said, what we learned from aviation is that automation does not decrease error, but it changes the nature of error. As we use more technology in the cockpit, so meaning you have your technology, you have your equipment, but still it will be us human beings that will make the decision on our equipment. Okay, so we know what works well with our equipment. We know what do not work well. So it will always be the humans that will prevail on the equipment. Okay, so you cannot reverse that. You cannot reverse. So the key here is your industry should invest on the people, because the people will be the ones who will improve what you call the maintainability and reliability of your equipment. Okay, now during my time when I was working in the mining industry, there was a meeting, operations meeting, and the resident manager said, how can we improve utilization by 60%? And then the maintenance manager, buy me 4 equipments. I will increase your utilization 60% or more. Now, it was approved. The equipment was purchased. Okay, so they have 4 equipment. Now they hit 65% utilization only for a month. Okay, now after 3 months, one of the equipment was no longer working because of severe damage. Okay, now after 6 months, 2 of the new machines are no longer working. Now, so what I'm telling is that the investment should be done on the human being, okay? Because the human being is the one that makes decision. So you cannot reverse that. So that is my advice.
Yeah. Okay. So human is more reliable then.
Of course.
Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. And then this is one more is about, I think, what are the critical points that should be considered when overhauling log LOBE pumps? In this case, they are using OL4/10 Johnson pump.
Okay,
this
what
is about lubrication? Yeah. What are the critical points that should be considered when overhauling log pumps?
it's something like this, okay?
Okay.
When you try to overhaul, something, an equipment, whatever equipment, okay, the most important thing you need to consider is what you call human error, because overhauling is very prone to human error. That is why maybe some of the people listening experience this one after a shutdown, after dismantling the equipment, after returning the equipment. The operators are complaining because they cannot operate. Okay, they cannot operate. So human error usually happens when you try to reassemble the machine. Now, during the disassembly, you remove this, remove that, remove this, remove that. The human error is very negligible. It's very, very low. The chance is very low. It happens when you reassemble, okay? Now, Diana, how many people listening right now?
I think just now 59,
Okay.
50, around
Okay.
that. Mm-hmm.
If I get a piece of big bolt, let's say I have a big bolt and I have 8 nuts, okay, 8 nuts, and I give to you, and I tell you, Diana, to place the nuts and then remove the nuts, and then you gave it to CK, and then CK do the same, and then after CK give it to KC, and then give it to one of the listeners, and then to another, until we complete what you call the 59 people. Now, at the end of that simple exercise, I can generate one complete conclusion. And what is that conclusion? How we assemble will not be perfectly the same. Okay?
Correct.
So what was the first nut inserted, second nut, third nut? Because we're talking about 8 nuts. So if we multiply 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7 times 8, that will be around 40,300 combination. What was the first nut, second nut, and so on. So what I'm telling you is that if you are overhauling, you need also to apply what you call the concept of precision maintenance. Okay? Now, the concept of precision maintenance is something like, if let's say Ahmed is the one overhauling, he's the most experienced, and after he overhaul, the machine will run smooth. Okay? And this is maybe a novice, let's say Faisal is a novice, so if he will be the one overhauling, it will be a different result. So meaning you need to, what you call, write the details, how the equipment is being performed or being overhauled. What was the first thing he removed? What was the second thing? What was the first bolt he removed? Okay. Now, it should be as detailed as that. Okay. That is what you call precision. Precision maintenance. And just a piece of advice, okay? Now, if you're doing some overhauling stuff, what I recommend is talk to your predictive maintenance group, okay? The vibration, the thermographer, or do some oil analysis, or if you have some motor resistance, whatever, okay? And before performing your overhauling or your preventive maintenance, let them get the readings. Okay? Now, after you overhaul, you start the equipment and call these guys again. Vibration, come. Can you measure the vibration? Now, if the vibration lessen, so I think you have done a good job. Okay? This way, it will lessen the chances of premature or infant mortality figures once we endorse that back to the production people. So that is what you call precision maintenance.
Thank you, Mr. Rolly, for the long answer. So I believe Mr. Rolly had answered your question. Yeah. Okay. So now, Mr. Rolly, I'm going to move to a question from Facebook. Okay. We have before that, don't forget to type hashtag IK Academy. Yeah. Okay. You can be a 5 lucky winners, one of them. Okay. So the question is from Mr. Prince. Is that very crucial to train in-house maintenance teams of how to tackle problems from third party rather than hire a third party all the times when problems occur repeatedly?
Okay. When you say third party, I am assuming he's talking to the OEM.
Is it so, Mr. Prince? Yeah, I believe so.
It's something like this, okay? Do not trust your OEM 100%. Do not give your soul to OEM 100%, okay? Now, it's something like this. OEM are business people. I got no disputes. I got no quarrel with this one, but this is how it works. They are business people, okay? So what do I mean? Let's say I have a spare part. And the life of the spare part, let's say, is 5 years. Now, OEM knows that. They study the life cycle. Okay, they know that. They study the life of the equipment. So it's 5 years. They know it will wear out after 5 years. Now, if the OEM is on the right frame of thinking, he will not tell you that, okay? He will tell you to replace this every 3 months. Now, I'm not stupid and tell you, hey, the life of this part is 5 years, replace. They will run out of business. So they will tell you to replace that at a shorter period, okay? Look, maybe they design the equipment, maybe they commission the equipment, they install the equipment, but you working in your plant day in, day out is in face-to-face with your equipment every day. Meaning, you know the problem better than your OEM. Okay? So, do not trust your OEM 100%. Okay? Now, for example, let me give you some example, okay? I have a client, a power plant, and it's a diesel power plant, a big diesel power plant. And the OEM is a lubricant manufacturer, and they told them that, okay, you get our lubricants, free oil analysis report. Okay, the oil analysis was free. Oil analysis report was free. Okay, so I was assuming that they are transitioning from changing the oil running hours to condition-based, because oil analysis is about condition-based, okay? So I asked the maintenance head, so now you're condition-based. No, Rolly, we're still replacing the oil. How much? 250 running hours. Why 250? Because the OEM told us to replace 250. My God, I thought, my God, are you stupid, or are you blind, or are you both? Okay, the purpose of oil analysis is to understand if your oil can still be used or needs to be replaced. Okay, so meaning it's a very clear proof that they are fooling. Okay, so just my advice: do not trust your OEM 100%. Now, if you do not believe what I'm telling you, if the people listening do not believe what I'm telling you, okay, I'll show you some evidence. Okay, you go to your storeroom and ask for non-moving parts. Now, your storekeeper will give you a long list of non-moving parts. Why are these parts not moving? It is because the OEM told you to stock this, stock that. Okay. So I think that's about it. Sorry for it.
Mr. Prince got comment something. He said, like, no, ready. And sometimes hire us costs a lot on, and company did mention to us to pass some of the knowledge to them so that in case of emergency, they immediately could use our proposed methods. Unless much critical condition, then we could send our team. After all, knowledge, know-how is still valuable.
Come again, I didn't follow the first line.
He said, sometimes hire us costs a lot And
Come again, the first line.
I think hiring for the OEM, I think is a lot. I think so. This is what Mr. Prince Ng said. Is that correct, Mr. Prince? And that did mention, the company did mention to us to pass some of the knowledge to them so that in case of emergency, they immediately could use our proposed methods. Unless much critical condition, then we could send our team. After all, knowledge, know-how is still valuable.
Okay, they are in control. The OEM are in control, meaning meaning maybe they add in the contract that the OEM will be the one to maintain. So that's good for them because they're in business with you. Okay, so you ask, hey, can you pass us some knowledge? Okay, I'll give you the easy ones, but they will not give you everything. Okay, and the problem in that case. The problem in that situation is you are what you call a slave, okay? Meaning they will dictate you. You replace this, you replace that. I need this, I need that. Okay, that is another batch of problems. But look, you got your guys, you got your team, and your OEM is not Muhammad. It's not Buddha. It's not Jesus Christ. It's just human, just like you and me. Okay. So there is a problem I see if the OEM is the one, what you call, maintaining your equipment. You will be having very little control or knowledge because they will guard the equipment and they will not allow the regular maintenance people from the plant to learn about the equipment. That is the problem I see. Okay. Okay. So if you're dead serious about improving your equipment, saving on cost, end the contract and then let your guys maintain. That's my advice.
Okay, so better we move for the next question. This one is from Muhammad Firdaus. He asking how we as a maintenance guy want to react with the management which only wanted good maintenance, but at the same time they do not want to invest on time, knowledge and money to achieve it.
What's the name, Mr.
Firdaus, Muhammad Firdaus.
Firdaus, you go to your management and you punch him in the face. No, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Now,
bad advice.
No, bad advice. Now, it's something like this, okay? Okay, this is the sad thing, meaning he will not give you a budget to learn, but it does not hinder you from learning. It does not hinder you from learning, okay? You have a lot of resources on the internet. You can what you call join forum. For example, my friend Terence O'Hanlon, okay, he owns the largest forum on maintenance. It's called AMP, Association of Maintenance Professionals. Okay, so many people, it's like a coffee shop on the internet. Go there, ask questions, and they will get answers. Surf the net. Buy an ebook if you think because this is quite expensive. It's around $67. Now the ebook is less expensive. It's affordable. It's around $9. Okay, educate yourself. Learn the problem in your plan. Look for a solution. You're lucky today because during my time, Diana, we got the Britannica Encyclopedia. Okay, but now you have
Mr. Rolly book.
No, not my book. You have what you call everything on Google.
Correct.
Okay, but just beware. Not everything they write about maintenance is correct. Okay, or for the sake of you try to search the author. There are a lot of great authors there who is really heavyweights. Okay, they have solution to your problem. So what I'm telling you is, if your management is limiting you in terms of budget, okay, it does not limit you from obtaining the knowledge through your own means. Okay, so whatever you search, you have a notebook, write it down, or whatever, and then read it. Or that's what I said earlier. Spend some time, or maybe in the morning when you poo. Okay, you try to. Spend 10 minutes to read an article, something like that. Okay, so that's about it. Just don't what you call limit yourself with management decision, we're too good for that. Okay.
Again, we have to educate our own self and like find our own ways also.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then the next question is from Mr. Yudi Fazri. He is asking what kind of mindset should have for predictive maintenance right people? What kind of the right mindset should the predictive maintenance people have? I think so.
It's something like this.
Yeah.
Before we go to the mindset, you need to hire the right people. Okay. What I'm telling earlier is not a joke. Okay. It's not a joke. Meaning, okay, this guy is right. This is correct. But will he stay on the course? Or will this guy go out after 6 months, after a year, after obtaining level 2, something like that? Okay. So the key is not about the mindset. It's about having the right people. Now, this happened to me many years when I was still working in a big semiconductor industry. Okay. So we organized a group, a predictive maintenance team composed of 10 people, 1 manager, 1 secretary, female, 2 vibration, 2 oil analysis, 2 thermographer, and 2 ultrasonic. Okay, a total of 10. And then it took us around 3 months to organize the group, and then we placed them on a room together, and then we tell them to get their passport and get the level 1. Level 1, okay? So everyone get the level 1, and then everyone was happy. They passed level 1. Some went to level 2 after a few months, okay? And then after 6 months, two of them were pirated. You know what pirate means?
They're doing part-time job outside?
No.
No.
One industry saw your talent and they offer you to work with them. So, okay. And then after 6 months, half of them disappear. Okay. Now, after a year, only 3 people remain. The manager, the secretary, and one guy from oil analysis. So when I look at the guy doing the oil analysis, he's white hair, Rolling Stones, white hair. Okay, so that's my advice. Do not get what you call young ones because they will go out. Look for someone with a loyalty watch or someone who will die in your plant. That's it.
Because the next question, I'm not sure whether the answer is the same because from Joey, it's actually asking, can you explain about right people for WCM? Is it the same answer like just now? I mean like the same concept also?
The right people, it's something like this. Okay. When you implement something, when you implement this one, expect a lot of resistance at the beginning. Okay. Now, I remember when I started this one because I was an engineer too, and the members I have were senior managers, department managers, senior engineers. I'm engineer too. Okay. And then during our first meeting, I laid down the plan, I laid down the roadmap, and then one department manager told me, Rolly, why should I follow you? Because I'm a department manager, you're an engineer too. And then and then one guy was holding, Rolly, I'm holding my job description. I get this from HR. I cannot see follow Rolly on maintenance. You will expect a lot of resistance. Whoever people you will, there's no such thing as right people at the beginning. Okay. Now, what will happen is that you need to have the time, you need to have the patience, you need to have what you call the dedication. And once equipment improve, they will believe and they will now follow. That is how it's done. It's not getting the right people at the beginning, okay? In fact, my advice to people, what you call, that wants to organize an autonomous maintenance. If you want to set up an autonomous maintenance team, try to get the worst or the most problematic operator to be on the pilot, okay, or to be the startup team. Why really the most problematic? Because if you can convince this guy, the rest will be easy. Now, your most problematic, they have followers, like Facebook. They have people who believe in them. So once you convince them, the rest will be easy. So meaning, it's something like this. When you do world class, the people will come first. Okay, so expect the problems, resistance. Okay, and then little by little, your equipment will follow. It will not be the equipment first. It will be the people first. Okay, so expect some problems, some resistance in the beginning. Okay, once they see the trend, once they see your graph, let's say you measure the number of breakdowns, you measure the breakdowns, the MTBF. Once the indices are doing are improving, then they will start believing. When they believe, then that's the time. Then that is the time you become united. And when you become united, then we can move mountains. When we say moving mountains, any problem we can tackle.
Correct. That's true. Okay. So the next question, I think, if let's say you have an idea, because Mr. Ridwan Munir, he is asking, what can a company do to maintain their workers from resigning once they got certification, just in case they hire like young people, like what you explained just now? Do you have any idea how to maintain their workers?
It's not about maintaining. It's something like this, okay? It's the discretion. It's the discretion of the guy. Whether he wants or he has a better offer, you cannot force him. Okay, you cannot force. Now, it is something like this. What we want to end is the trend. And what is the trend? Okay. In your plant, you have Rolling Stones people. When you say Rolling Stones people, these are the people with white hair. They are the experienced people. So day in, day out, they talk to their machine. Hi, hello. Okay, I'll give you grease. They come face to face with the problems, and they earn some experience. And then I do not know with Malaysia, with Thailand, but in Philippines, when you reach 55, you're forced to retire. Okay, they retire. Okay, and then replace again by a new batch. The trend happens the same. The same trend happens. They grow old, retire, grow old, retire. So it's not about retaining the people. It's retaining the knowledge of the most experienced people in your plant. Have a way to capture them. Maybe talk to your human resources. Maybe we can have a 1 hour coffee with them, sharing their experiences. Someone can document, so that when they go out for good and never come back, meaning what they know, you have a file, you have a document. Okay, so that is what we want. Okay, that is what we want. Break the chain in which the knowledge of your experienced people are never been captured. So just break that kind of chain, and you will do fine. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Roli, for the answer. So I have another question again from Mr. Muhammad Firdaus. Is there any certification for company level which show that the company already practice WCM?
Now, actually, it's something like this. Okay. There is because, but it's tough. And TPM, Total Productive Maintenance, have what you call 5 awards. Okay, 5 it's a level of award. The first is TPM Excellence, and then consistency. The last is World Class. But to get this award, there should be what you call a span, maybe 2 to 3 years. And this is in sequence. You cannot jump to, okay, I got the first award, I moved to World Class. Okay, so that's the only certification I know about being World Class.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem. Okay, and I do not have any solution here. To be honest, I do not have answers for everything. You can achieve World Class. You can read my book, set up a team, organize, then indices improve, then you're at that level. The problem is, how do you sustain? Okay. Now, if you ask me, I have achieved this when I was working, I got a team, we got the indices and so on. But if you ask me today, Rolly, is your company before that you work still world class today? I cannot answer that. Okay, I cannot answer that. What I know, some of the members are already dead. That is what I know. Okay, so so I think that's about it.
Okay. Okay, so we move to another question from Mr. Hairil Azmi. He is asking how to cultivate accountability and increase engagement among maintenance personnel. For example, like from technicians, engineers, managers to deliver reliability.
How to what?
How to cultivate accountability and increase engagement among maintenance personnel, among technicians, engineers, maintenance to deliver reliability. I mean, to achieve reliability and maintenance, I guess. So, like that.
Okay, first, okay, I often hear the word reliability, reliability here, reliability there. Okay, first, let me discuss. Okay, when we talk about reliability, this is something about the future. Okay, it's about the future. So how will your equipment run for the next 24 hours, for the next 48 hours, for the next 50 hours? It's about the future. It did not happen yet. To know the future, you need to know the past. Okay, so how do we engage or cultivate? Now, there are many ways to do that. Okay, but what we did before, if I may share, is we list down all the training needs needed by all our people in maintenance, and we group them into different category. For example, analytical problem solving tools, and then you have hydraulics, and then you have pneumatics, and so on. And we create what you call a chart in which these are all the things all the maintainers must know. And these are the people, these are all the people, Jake, the snake, we have Diana, we have CK, and so on. And then we make a scoring system. Who's the most knowledgeable guy in our team on hydraulics? Let's say Diana is the most knowledgeable. So I placed a mark there, 1. And who are the less knowledgeable? So now I have a score. By doing that, you know your score. You know what your people are strength, your people's weakness. Now, once you know that, okay, perhaps you can develop some SME or subject matter expert, or a sharing session with the guy to transfer his knowledge. Or perhaps you can combine them during preventive maintenance, during repair. So if you have a problem on hydraulics, okay, we get the most experienced guy, let's say Diana, the most experienced, and the less experienced CK, we tandem, we pair them, so that there can be what you call a transfer, an actual transfer of knowledge. And then in the future, you can see CK working alone without what you call the master. So it means the knowledge had already been passed, and then you update your chart. Okay, CK is now knowledgeable on hydraulics. Okay, so that's what we did.
Okay, thank you.
I hope it gave some idea to the guy.
Yes, from Hairil Azmi. Yeah, I hope Mr. Rolly answered your question. And then we have another question from Mr. Muhammad Firdaus. In Asia, I see that maintenance guys, specifically in manufacturing, lack of certification in terms of maintenance. So how can we improve or do about this?
Come again?
As in Asia, I see that maintenance guy, specifically in manufacturing, lack of certification in maintenance. So how can we improve or do about this? Educate? Yeah, I think they especially in manufacturing, they don't have certification in terms of maintenance. So how can they improve on that?
It's something like this, okay? I have nothing against certification, okay? Meaning, even if you're certified, it's not a guarantee it will improve your maintenance, okay? So to me, what is important is what you call the work you are doing now, because whatever things you do in your plant, that will be your remaining legacy, okay? So if you do the right things in maintenance, definitely that is a landmark on your career, or on your career on maintenance. And it's not about look, no disrespect, but I know these people, I know the body of knowledge, okay, and they can have a certification, but it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that your equipment will improve, okay? Because the certification is what you call a quiz, maybe 1 to 200. So if you get 85%, you pass. That's it. Okay.
Most important is more on the knowledge and also on the practice itself. Right?
Get the knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. You write, summarize how I can do this on your equipment. If you got the plan, execute that.
Yeah.
If your equipment improve, then get another problem, find the solution, then apply that. That's my advice, instead of going for the certification.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Rolly. Okay, so we have few more questions. Okay, I think before that, don't forget to type hashtag IT Academia to get Mr. Rolly ebook. Please just type anytime before we end this session. Okay, so we have a nice question from Shan Vel. How to manage or handle human error?
Okay, it's something like that. Okay, a typical person, okay, according to James Reason, he's the expert on human error. According to James Reason's, an average person commit around 0.8, 0.9 errors per day. So it's almost 1. Now, if we have 7 or 7.5 billion people in the planet, roughly that will be around 6 billion errors a day. Okay. Now, we cannot eliminate that. It's already given, but we can manage. Okay. We can manage that. And there are several ways to manage that. For example, if you apply Poka-yoke is about mistake proofing. Okay. Mistake proofing, but it's a solution. It's a solution. Now, there are other ways in order to deal with human error, and it's about what you call the use of, let's say, visual controls. Okay, it will help manage human error, or the use of color coding, something like that. For example, if you have several lubricants, several grease, let's say you have a calcium, you have a lithium, you have a sodium, color code the grease, color code the grease guns. Okay. Now, there are so many ways in order to reduce, but definitely we cannot eliminate. It's already given. Okay. Now, for example, Diana, you and I were overhauling the equipment, and then you receive a call. And then Diana, call for you. Okay. I'm overhauling, ma. I'm overhauling. Okay. Yes, ma. What is it? Your brother has an accident. He's in the hospital right now. Okay. Bye-bye. I love you. See you later. You cannot do that. Definitely, you need to stop. Okay.
Right.
Why? Because we're humans. We can only minimize, mitigate, or we can manage. But if you want to manage it, then it's not only about procedures. As I advised earlier, you need to apply what you call precision maintenance, in which the concept of precision, let's say the best guy on maintenance is, let's say, Firdaus. Firdaus is the best guy on maintenance. Whatever he do should be replicated equally with the same output. Okay, so whatever the output of Firdaus when he's doing the overhaul, when he's doing the repair, when he's doing the maintenance, should be replicated equally to the maintenance, so that if Diana or a novice or a beginner is doing these activities, the output will remain consistent. That is what you call precision. And this is one of the biggest ways to reduce human error, and probably avoid early or infant mortality failures.
Okay. So we have another 3 more questions like that. Okay, this one is from Joey. How many companies that have been certified with WCM? You know, I'm not sure whether this is in Philippines or if let's say you know.
Now, in the Philippines, I know of only one, but it is certified on TPM, TPM world-class maintenance. But I only know one, and that is Texas Instruments. Okay, Texas Instruments in Baguio, and they are consistent in their implementation and have achieved this. Okay, now I do not know of the rest. It's something like this. Okay, globally there is no certification. I know, and it's very difficult because industries vary from one type of company to another. Okay, now for example, one of the requirements of world-class, let's say OEE. Now I will find it difficult to measure the OEE of a power plant, let's say of a coal power plant, because you can only use OEE if you have products, and power plants do not have any product; they have services. Okay, so meaning I cannot measure the quality rate of the OEE. So unless you have a couple of thousand people that is inspecting the coal, every single piece of coal being used in a coal power plant. Okay, so meaning different industry, they have different standards. You cannot make a universal standard. Okay, you cannot make a universal standard. Okay, now for example, you have ISO 55000. It's an asset management. Okay, still, even if you get ISO 55000, it is not a guarantee that your industry is world class. Because the problem with ISO certification is that as long as you provide the documents, you will pass. As long as they see your documents. But TPM is different. They ask for the documents and they will ask for the results. If you have the documents, you don't have the result, go away. You're not qualified. Okay? So that's the only certification I know on world class.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rolly, for the answer. And then before I move to the last 2 questions, probably you don't forget to type #IK Academy in comment to win Mr. Rolly ebook. This is your chance. Okay. So this one, we have another question from Cik Muhammad Firdaus. On your opinion, what is the best method or strategy to do maintenance on electronic component or system of machine, since for it is most difficult part to do maintenance? They can only react after the item is broken.
Okay, electronics is quite a different ball game. Okay, it's quite different from mechanical. That's a good question. Okay, now for electronics, there is what you call limited things we can do. Okay, now perhaps number one, we can add defenses on our equipment. Okay, to signal if there will be a problem. So maybe we add a warning, something like that, and so on. Now, what we did during my time, because I work in a semiconductor, you can have an equipment, a wire band, and it contains everything is electronics. There are no mechanical, all electronics. Okay, all electronic parts, and the only maintenance we did is to have what you call a record on what seems to fail frequently. Okay, let's say what board seems to fail frequently, and then once we identify those kinds of things, then we create what you call a duplication or a redundancy. So meaning, let's say this is a PLC board, and then it failed. We know that it always fails, so we have a redundant. Replace it while this will be repaired by a repair team. Okay, but it will be replaced immediately. Okay, it will be replaced immediately. So these are for electronics. Now, believe me when I tell you, this is the strategy for airline industry. Okay. Now, what I'm telling you is that if you take a plane, let's say you go ride a plane, the maintenance of a plane is run to fail. Okay. So meaning when it fail, it fail. Now, I cannot tell you, let's say, this is Captain Rolly Angeles. We are at 36,000 feet, and we have a problem on the turbine, on the left turbine, and we are requesting for any maintenance to go out, and we'll give you a rope to check that. You cannot do that. You die at that elevation. Okay, so meaning if something fail, it failed. But they create a secondary strategy in which they make their failure what you call fail safe. So meaning whatever fail, it will still run. Okay, that is airline strategy. That's why almost everything is run to fail. How do they do that? Duplication, redundancy. Look, even the pilots are duplicated. Everything in the plane are duplicated. The gauges are duplicated. All the monitors are duplicated. Everything is duplicated in the plane. So that's what we can adapt for electronics.
Okay, thank you. Then leave me to one last question from Mr. Franciscus. Sorry if I say your name wrongly. If the production line running full production, he is in a aseptic beverage industry, how to manage the maintenance schedule, which is not disturb the production planning?
Now, it's something like this, okay? In this book, I have what you call, in chapter 5, it speaks about preventive maintenance. And I have a survey on the top 10 problems on preventive maintenance. And I wrote this in 2009, and during my trainings, I have the survey to my delegates, and I regularly update. And in my latest book, it's now concluded because it's already a long time. The number one problem on preventive maintenance is the PM waives the equipment. The operations waive the equipment during a preventive maintenance. That's the number one problem on preventive maintenance. Okay, now it's something like this. Definitely, they are always followed. Meaning, if say, Diana, why are you here, boss? Schedule PM. Oh, go back next week. Go back next week. Okay. Okay. Now, look, if this is the first time, maybe it's fine. Okay, it's fine. But if this is a repeating habit, okay, I think it's best if you have a document signed. Okay, sir, this is the 5th time you will waive. Please sign here so that we will waive our rights if anything happened to the equipment. Okay, that's the only thing you can do, unless you can get the military and then you aim the rifle at them. Nobody operate. PM, go work. Okay, but we cannot do that. We're not maintenance and violent people. Okay, so it's something like this. If this happens frequently, have them sign that they are waiving the equipment. Okay, and for the maintenance, you still have some problems. Okay, sometimes we overdo or we overkill. We overkill the equipment. Now, preventive maintenance is good, but in most cases they misuse, they abuse, or they overuse preventive maintenance. That is why the outcome is that even if they perform a major preventive maintenance, the equipment still have a lot of breakdowns. Okay, now it's something like this. If your PM can be trusted, definitely operations will believe you. Okay, will believe you that what you're doing is good. But if you perform your PM and then you still have a lot of breakdowns, then I think you need to maybe before overhauling the equipment, let us overhaul the activities we perform on our equipment. Maybe some are intrusive, some are not needed, or there are activities that are not written that's supposed to be done on the equipment. So that is my advice, okay? So have a measurement of your PM ratio and your breakdown maintenance. And then present that to your operations, and then they can believe you that what you're doing is right. So they will release the equipment. Now, those kinds of things happen if mostly the operations lost their trust in the maintenance, because their feeling is that even if the machine is newly PM, it still fail. Okay, so why should I do PM? Okay, so I think that's about it, Diana.
Thank you, Mr. Rolly. Actually, we have another one. I think got two more questions. Is it okay?
Yeah,
You're
of
okay to
course.
answer? Yeah. I think this is the last two questions. I think the rest, probably you can type, if let's say Mr. Rolly wanted to give some answer, we can reply back in the comment section, maybe a bit later. Okay, so this last question is another one. One is from Mr. Muhammad Firdaus. What is your opinion on implementation of autonomous maintenance to the improvement of maintenance overall strategy?
Now, in my third book, that is all about what you call, the title of my book is Reliability, a Shared Responsibility for Operators and Maintenance. Okay. Now, I wrote in that book that for as long as operators and maintenance in industries remain a separate function, your industry will continue to remain reactive. Okay, you will be reactive forever unless you have what you call an operator and maintenance partnership. Okay, now there are two most important reasons why operators are important, because the operators are the first line of defense on our equipment problems. They will sense the problem first before maintenance. They are the ones who write the job order, work order, give to us. So we come when the failure happened. But before the failure, if there are any sign, there are any symptom, there are any warning, or there are any untoward events, it will be the operator who will sense that. Okay, so we, as maintenance, we need to know what the operators know. Okay, what the operators know, but just do not take this literally, because Diana, when we implement autonomous maintenance way back, I told the maintenance guys, please support your operator, teach them about the machine. Now they took it literally, so they become partner, and most of the operator become pregnant because the operators were female. Okay, so now they live happily ever after, the operators and maintenance. Okay, I know at least 3 or 4 people, maintenance people, that marry the operator because they become so close. Okay, so that's the problem. Just don't take it literally, my message. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rolly. Okay, one last question. So for the rest, don't forget to type hashtag IK Academy before we end. We're almost towards the end already. Okay, so this one is from Mr. Yudi Fazri. How do we start the predictive maintenance program? I mean, the first step and follow, since we don't have correct maintenance system before.
It's something like this, okay? To my advice to Firdaus, my advice.
Yudi, this one is Yudi.
Yudi.
Yeah.
My advice to Yudi is, before you move to predictive maintenance, take care first of the basics of your equipment, okay? Meaning your equipment is clean, it has complete bolts, it has no leaks, okay? Meaning you can buy the top of the line 2021 model of an SKF vibration monitoring that can scan around 10 frequencies at a glance. But if your equipment lack 2-3 bolts, it will increase the vibration of your equipment. These instruments are only here to detect, okay? And it is for the user to make the decision whether to allow or not to allow. So it means that majority of our problems in our equipment start small, missing one bolt, and that problem seems to be a no problem to us because you always see that every day. But it's different inside the equipment. Maybe if we have a suit, we become small, we go inside to the equipment, you can see that the problem is starting. So what I'm telling is that our problems in our equipment is merely an accumulation of very small problems that happened in the past. Okay? So before you go for predictive, take care of the very basic of the equipment. Okay? So once you take care of that, then you will have much better results in your predictive maintenance. Okay? Remember, the instruments are here just to detect, but it is the user who will make the decision. Okay, the decision based on the what you call readings of the equipment. Okay, so that's my advice. Do not move what you call to do not move to what you call to thermodynamics, or you go back to algebra, or you go back to mathematics 1.1 before you go to trigonometry or what is that? Okay, I forgot about those. You take things one at a time. One at a, that's my advice. Okay.
Thanks again. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's it.
Thanks, Mr. Rolly, for all the sharing, and also thanks for everyone for all your questions. And we hope that all of you learned something today. I would love to get more questions, but then we really don't have much time. But like
okay,
again,
maybe one more question, Diana.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm check first. I think no. From
Okay,
UD,
so
that one is the last one. Okay. So probably if you still have any question, just type in comment. Probably we can email to Mr. Rolly, then we'll reply back in the comment itself.
We'll just email.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we end today, don't forget, type hashtag IK Academy now in comment section. And then before we end, actually, and before you all leave, I have a special announcement to make. I would say it is a good deal to share with everyone. Why we have this good deal? Because to be honest, we wanted everyone to get the knowledge from Mr. Rolly. And also, since we have a schedule and online training on world-class maintenance management, the 12th discipline on 24th and 25th June. So this is next week. So as well, we share these good deals with everyone who interested to join this training. So whoever, for the first 10 registration who register for this course, which is with USD 350, you get a free two other things, which is complimentary to attend a one-day training from Mr. Rolly as well, understanding the different mean time indicators, MTBF, MTTF, wow, this is a lot of MT, MTTR, MTTS, MTBF, failure rate on 29 June, or another one you can choose for FMEA or FMECA for equipment and asset, this one on 23rd of June. Another one, you will get ebook access of world-class maintenance, just in case you are not lucky today. So you will get a copy of yourself, let's say you register for the world-class maintenance management training. So for the first 10, you get all these two on top of what you get is small. Then, another one announcement that I would like to make. For those who like Flash, for the first 3 who complete the registration and also the purchase link, you will be given an hour online one-to-one consultancy with Mr. Rolly Angeles. So I believe this is a very good deal if, let's say, you really wanted to learn from Mr. Rolly. We're trying our best to give the best, but then you have to finish all the registration today. I mean, before midnight tonight, 000. So meaning your last chance is actually 11:59, 59 seconds. So please register. I think we will paste a link inside the comment for the registration. You just click on the link and then you can register straight away. If you have any more question on the details about this, you can check straight away with our salesperson, or you can type in the comment. Definitely one of our person will also reply to you to give you more details on this. Okay, so please grab this chance if, let's say, you are really interested to learn with Mr. Rolly, because I know he has a lot that he wanted to share. So we have two days training, and then on top of that, another additional, so you get 3 days training, and ebook access. And also, if you, let's say you are like Flash, very fast, paling pantas in Indonesia, what they said, the first 3 you will get a consultation one-to-one with Mr. Rolly itself. Okay, so I believe we already have come to an end. Thank you so much, Mr. Rolly, and thanks everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. And for the rest of you, this is your last chance to become the lucky winners. Type now, type as many as you want, hashtag IK Academy before we end today. So please leave some comment in Facebook and maybe a thank you note saying thank you to Mr. Rolly. At least we know that we share something valuable and informative to you today. And also don't forget to like and follow our page in Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. And also join our FB community page, IKI Club, by IK to get latest news for our upcoming IK Live webinar series and also other content sharing. So we'll be having the next one on Thursday next week, 24th of June at 10 in the morning about SPL Has. So do check our page for more details. So, well, I hope I can see you again. Thanks from me, Diana from IK Academy, and stay safe, everyone. Before you leave, please watch this video from all of us from IK Academy. Bye, everyone. Bye, Mr. Rolly.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi everybody!
Hi guys.
Stay strong.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe everyone!
Stay together.
Stay hydrated.
Stay strong, stay safe, stay at home!
Stay at home, yeah. Stay at home.
くれぐれもお体をお大事に。